Hare Krishna, welcome to the 18-day session on the systematic study of the greatest literature available to mankind, Srimad Bhagavatam. Before we begin today's session, I shall chant a few prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Ajnanathimiranthasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, I would like to welcome everyone again for today's session on the study and analysis of the 14th and 15th chapters of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam first canto contains 19 chapters and 808 shlokas. We have discussed yesterday about the wonderful destination attained by Dhritarashtra and Gandhari being directed under the guidance of Vidura. They attained liberation. Now, moving to the next 14th chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam describes the very inauspicious omens observed on the entire face of the earth on the disappearance of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna back to his spiritual abode, back to the eternal kingdom of the Supreme Lord. So, Suta Goswami explains and describes to the sages of Naimisharanya, Suta Uvacha Samprasthite Dvarakayam Jishnur Bandhu Didrikshaya Gnatum cha Punya Shlokasya Krishnasya cha Vicheshtitam. Yudhishthira was anxious and worried that although Arjuna had accompanied the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna and gone to Dwaraka and many months had passed, but there was no news about the events happening at Dwaraka. At the same time, Yudhishthira also observed Kalasya cha ghatim raudram vipariyastatu dharminam papiyasim nrinam vagtam hagshashokanritatmanam. He saw that the direction of Kala, of eternal time, had changed, had reversed. Things, the situation everywhere surrounding him had become very, very fearful. There were disruptions in the occurrences of the Rutus or the seasonal changes. People had become in general inclined towards papiyasim nrinam vagtam, towards sinful activities which was completely not existing during the rule of Maharaj Yudhishthir. But now, suddenly Yudhishthir Maharaj observed a drastic change in the situation across his kingdom, which spanned throughout the earthly realm. So he called Bhimasena, his younger brother Bhima, and explained to him that Sampreshito Dvarakayam Jishnur Bandhu Didrikshaya Gnatum cha Punya Shlokasya Krishnasya cha vicheshtitam. I sent Arjuna to Dwaraka to meet Krishna and all the residents of Dwaraka to understand what their next future course of action would be. Gata saptadhuna masa bhimasena tavanujaha na ayati kasya va heto na aham vededa manchasa. Yudhishthira was surprised that although 7 months had passed since Arjuna had left with the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna to Dwaraka, there was no news forthcoming from Dwaraka, from Krishna or from Arjuna. So Yudhishthira Maharaj was now expecting the most inauspicious news, or the disappearance of the Supreme Lord along with his eternal associates of Dwaraka, the Nitya Parshadas, the eternal associates who had descended from the spiritual world along with the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Yudhishthira also pointed out to Bhima the various inauspicious signs that he observed on in various things, in various people. Yudhishthira explained that Urvakshi bahavo mahyam spurantyanga punah punaha vepatushchapi hridaye aradasyanti vipriyam. He first explained his personal experience that the left side Vama Bhaga of his body was quivering, his arms and eyes. He also said that Vepatushcha api hridaye, I am having heart palpitations due to fear. This may be indicative of some undesirable happenings. Even the wind is blowing very roughly, carrying a lot of dust. The sun, the glare of the sun, Suryam hataprabham pashya, the sun's glare has reduced, has become quite dull. So in this way, all the various natural phenomena have been severely hampered, and this Yudhishthira Maharaj explained to be due to some great misfortune that may have happened. So as Yudhishthira and Bhima were discussing, at that time arrived Partha Arjuna, who was returning from Dwaraka. Arjuna's composure had become very, very weak and dull. Seeing the highly aggrieved Arjuna, Yudhishthira became even more anxious and inquired in various ways about the welfare of all the residents of Dwaraka. He inquired personally about about their various relatives, about the residents of Dwaraka, about Shurasena, about Vasudeva, about Devaki, about all the other wives of Vasudeva, about Balarama, about Pradyumna, Aniruddha, about all these great personalities. And then he asked about the Supreme Lord Govinda Shri Krishna. Bhagavan api Govindo Brahmanyo Bhaktavatsalaha Kachit Pure Sudharmayam Sukham Aste Suhridgataha. Please convey to me the news about the well-being of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Bhagavan api Govindo Brahmanyo Bhaktavatsalaha. He is most affectionately inclined, especially towards his devotees. He is Bhaktavatsala. So please explain to me what is happening at Dwaraka. by your composure, I observe that something very seriously undesirable and unfavorable has happened. So Yudhishthira also presumed the various things that may have happened. That is it that you have not properly honored your superiors? Is it that you have not provided for any food or any charity while coming back? So have you broken any principle of religion? Have you broken any principle of spiritual practices? So in various ways, Yudhishthira very eagerly and anxiously inquired about the reason of Arjuna's great discomfiture. Finally, he came to the point and asked that Kachit Preshthata Natha Hridayena Atmabandhuna Shunyosmi Rahitam Lokam Manyase Te Anyathanaruk. The most deeply aggrieved state of yours, O Arjuna, seems to indicate as if the dearmost personality, not only to you Arjuna, but to every living entity in this universe, the Lord of Lords, the Lord of everyone's heart and soul, Shri Krishna is now, you are now bereft of the association of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So is it that you have lost the association of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna? Yudhishthira pointed out that I see no other reason for such deep dejection in you, O Arjuna. So being inquired in various ways by Yudhishthira, Arjuna then started speaking to Yudhishthira. This is explained in the 15th chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is also the 15th chapter of the first canto very wonderfully explains the Mahaprasthana, the final departure of the Pandavas to their spiritual destination, to the topmost spiritual destination that the Pandavas attained in their self-same spiritual bodies, in their Satchidananda Vigraha. So the 15th chapter of the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam begins with Arjuna explaining to Yudhishthira the circumstances, the events that had taken place that had put him in intense and deep grief. So Suta Goswami continues to explain, Suta Uvacha Evam Krishna Sakha Krishno Bhratra Ragnya Vikalpitaha Nana Shankaspadam Rupam Krishna Vishleshakashitaha. So Arjuna, being inquired again and again by Maharaj Yudhishthira with various speculative inquiries that is this the cause, is that the cause of your dejectance, of your dejection and of your grief. But actually there was only one root cause for the intense grief of Arjuna, which was the disappearance of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Only Arjuna among the Pandavas was a witness to the events that had happened at Dwaraka. The entire clan, the entire dynasty of the Yadus, the Yadavas, had just disappeared in a very terrible fratricidal fight, which is also described later in the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam in chapter 31 and 32, which is also known as the Maushala Leela, or the fight of the Yadavas between each other with mushalas or with great rods. that they had obtained from the seashore at Prabhasa Kshetra. So in this way, Shokena Shushyad Vadana Hritsarojo Hata Prabha Vibhumtam Eva Anusmaran Na Ashna Na Shaknot Pratibhashitum. Due to intense grief, Arjuna's mouth and lotus-like heart had dried up. Hrit Sarojo Hata Prabha. His body had lost all luster. Now, intensely remembering the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, he could hardly utter a word in reply to Yudhishthira. Finally, regaining his composure to some extent, Arjuna began speaking and immediately explained the cause of his great and deep grief and misery. Arjuna said, this is recorded in 1.15.5, Arjuna Uvacha Vanchitoham Maharaja Harina Bandhurupina Yena me apahritam tejo Deva Vismapanam Mahad. O Yudhishthira, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Harihi, who treated me exactly like a most intimate friend, Bandhu Rupina, has now, Vanchito Aham, has now left me. So Arjuna explained that the root cause of his great misery and grief was the disappearance of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Arjuna explained that Me Tejaha, my unparalleled and astounding strength and power. Arjuna was the greatest warrior, the greatest archer of his time. But my unparalleled power and strength have today, which were astonishing even to the Devatas, Deva Vismapanam, even the Devatas in the heavenly planets were astonished at the strength and the valor of Arjuna. But now the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna has left me, and Arjuna says that the real credit for all my great achievements, the cause, the origin of all my power was actually the mercy and grace of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So Arjuna rightly and properly understood that one should never be proud of whatever qualities or achievements, whatever one's possessions may be. All our possessions, all our wealth, all our knowledge, all our chivalry, all our qualities are actually like borrowed plumes. Even the body that we reside in is just like a rented home. So just like if a person is staying in a rented place, one very clearly understands that the owner is someone else. I am only the tenant here. I have to live here for some time. This place does not belong to me. I have just taken it on rent for some time. I have borrowed some possessions from someone else. The owner is someone else. Likewise, all the entirety of the universe belongs to the Supreme Proprietor, the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. And whatever qualities and possessions and valor and strength one may have are nothing but borrowed things from the infinity of the spark of splendor of the Supreme Lord. As I also explained in the Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter in the Vibhuti Yoga, Krishna says, Yad Yad Vibhuti Mat Sattvam Srimad Urjitam Evava tattad eva avagachatvam mama tejo amsha sambhavam. Whatever wonderful and splendorous things that are there in this world, know them, understand them to be nothing but a spark of the splendor of the energy of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So this should be the right understanding of everyone in this world. Arjuna very beautifully expresses in 1.15.6, Yasya kshanaviyogena loko hyapriyadakshanaha ukthena rahito hyesha mritakaha prochyate yatha. I have just lost the association of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, whose separation even for a moment would render all the universes completely void, as if like bodies without prana, without the life air. So actually the source of life, the soul of the entire universe is the Supreme Lord in his feature and aspect as Paramatma. So without the Supreme Lord, this entire world, everything is null and void. Yasya kshanaviyogena, even a momentary separation from the Supreme Lord is loko hi apriyadakshanaha. All the host of universe, the multitude of universes become completely null and void. This is actually the right perspective of the most advanced devotee, that he cannot bear even a moment's separation from the Supreme Brahman, from the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. This was very beautifully expressed. A similar conception of intense feelings of separation was expressed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Shikshashtaka prayers, that Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravrishaitam shunyaitam jagat sarvam govinda virahena me. Without Govinda, without Shri Krishna, in Govinda Viraha, Yugaitam nimeshena, even a minute seems like a yuga, like an entire millennium. Yugaitam nimeshena chakshusha pravrishaitam. And a devotee, a pure devotee in Viraha Bhava from the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna would shed torrential streams of tears, and also shunyaitam jagat sarvam, the entire world would be completely null and void, would be shunya, would be zero, would be worthless in Govinda Viraha, in separation from Shri Krishna. So such were the feelings experienced by the greatest pure devotees of Shri Krishna, the Pandavas, and especially Arjuna. So Arjuna is explaining that Yasya kshanaviyogena loko hi apriyadakshanaha. Without Shri Krishna, the entire universe is completely void and unfavorable. Krishna now, Arjuna now recalls all the wonderful, all the most intimate dealings that Arjuna and the Pandavas had with the Supreme Lord. From 1.5.7 onwards, Arjuna lists a long series of various intimate pastimes and that they had relished with the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. He also recounts all the extraordinary and superhuman achievements, accomplishments that Arjuna had done, and he understands very clearly. He repeatedly says that I could achieve all this only by the blessings and the grace of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Without him, I am a big zero. Arjuna, the greatest warrior, the greatest spiritualist of that time, he is expressing this truth that actually everything depends completely on the mercy and grace of the Supreme Lord. Without him, all our qualities, everything becomes null and void, becomes a big zero. So even all the qualities and all the knowledge and everything that we may possess are like adding more and more zeros. Whether there is 1 zero or a million zero, it is all adds up to, sums up to 0. Only if we add 1 to these multitude of zeros, immediately they gain so much of value. So therefore, this is the special position of Arjuna and the Pandavas. Even during the time of Mahabharata, there were many great warriors. There were many valorous and chivalrous personalities like Karna, like Duryodhana, like many other warriors. But all of them are completely useless and worthless. Even there was Ekalavya. All of them are worthless and useless. Even the Pandavas, just by merely their strength or qualities of even morality, were a big zero. The great value of the Pandavas, of Kunti, of Draupadi, of Bhishma is only and only due to their being surrendered and exclusive Ananya Bhaktas of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Otherwise, even they do not have any value. And this is very beautifully explained by Arjuna in these verses. And this is the real fact, that whatever we may possess, whatever we may have, whatever the people may be very proud of, they were great rulers even in the past, like Alexander, later on Mussolini, Napoleon, Hitler, all of them have come and gone. Everything becomes null and void without being surrendered to the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So the real thing of value in this world is only one, which is Sharanagati, surrender to the Supreme Lord, and Bhakti, devotional service unto the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So now Arjuna very beautifully describes and lists many things. Yatsam Shreya Drupadageha Mukha Upagatanam Rajnyam Swayam Varamukhe Smara Durmadanam Tejo Hritam Khalu Maya Bhyatascha Matsya Sajji Kritena Dhanushadhigata Cha Krishna. Only by his merciful strength was I able to vanquish all the princes who had assembled at the palace of King Drupada during the Swayamvara ceremony of Draupadi. With my bow and arrow, I could pierce the fish target and thereby gain the hand of Draupadi. So this was only by Yat Samshayad, by the grace of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. He further says, Yat Sannidhavaha Mukhandava Magnayedam Indram Chasa Maraganam Tarasa Vijitya Labdha Sabhamaya Kritadbhuta Shilpamaya Digbhyo Haran Ripatayo Balimadvarete. Only because the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, Yat Sannidhav, was accompanying me, was close to me, was intimate to me, it was possible for me to conquer with great dexterity even the powerful king of heaven, Indra, along with all the host of Devatas. Indram cha sa Amaraganan. The Devatas are referred to Amaraganan. All the host of Devatas were vanquished, were defeated single-handedly by Arjuna, just because Krishna was with Arjuna. So if the Supreme Lord is with us, we need not be afraid. Even if the entire universe is against us, if Krishna is with us, and even if the whole universe is against us, even all the Devatas may be against us, one need not worry. Like Arjuna, one can overcome even all the Devatas of the heavenly planets. So, Arjuna recalls the fight that Arjuna fought with all the Devatas during the burning of the Khandava forest. So he enabled Agni, the fire god, to devastate the Khandava forest. And after that, he also saved Mayadanava, who on the request of Krishna built the most amazing assembly hall and the palace of wonderful architectural workmanship, where Yudhishthir Maharaj later performed the Rajasuya Yagna. So this was all accomplished only and only by the grace and mercy of the Supreme Lord. Yat tejasa nripashirongri mahanmakhagdham aryo nujastava sattva viryaha tena hrita pramathanatha bhupa yanmochita stadanayan balimadvarete. Your brother Bhimasena, who possesses the strength of 10,000 elephants, he performed the task, the great act of killing Jarasandha only by the grace of Shri Krishna. He further says that Patnyastava Bhimatha Klipta Mahabhisheka. It was only by the grace of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna that all the miscreants, the Kauravas, who dared to touch the hair of Draupadi in the assembly of the Kauravas, she was protected only by the grace of Shri Krishna. This was directly experienced, this was directly witnessed by all the Pandavas when Draupadi was brought to the assembly of the Kauravas. She appealed to all the people there, to her valorous husbands. No one came to the help and rescue of Draupadi, and it was only the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna who helped Draupadi by supplying an unlimited quantity of garment. Yono jugopavana etya duranta khrichkan durvasasori rachitada yutagra bhugyaha shakana shishtamupayujyayatastrilokim tripta mamamsta salile vinimagna sangaha. Arjuna also recounted how once when they were living in the forest in exile, Duryodhana made a very smart scheme. He sent Durvasa at a certain specific time, knowing that Draupadi also would have finished her meal, and after that they could not produce more food from the Akshaya Patra. So Durvasa, accompanied by his 10,000 disciples, were sent by Duryodhana to the ashrama of the Pandavas, and Durvasa was a very short-tempered sage, and if there was any deficiency in their reception, Duryodhana was sure that Durvasa would pronounce some very severe kind of curse upon the Pandavas. So when Durvasa came, he was received very warmly and cordially by Yudhishthira. They went to take bath before coming to have their meal, but later the Pandavas found out that Draupadi also had finished her meal, and there was no way they could feed Durvasa and his disciples. So at that time, they intensely remembered Krishna, who appeared and also appealed to Draupadi that don't ask me anything, I am very, very hungry, feed me something. So Draupadi was put into even more perplexity as to what to do. Krishna just rushed inside and took one last grain that was somehow stuck to the pot, and he had it and announced that this one grain has completely satisfied me. And in the Upanishads it is stated that Yasmin tushte jagat tushtaha. If the Supreme Lord is satisfied, automatically the entire universe is satisfied. Just like if you water the root of a tree, all the parts of the tree, all the branches, all the twigs, all the leaves, every part of the tree would automatically get nourishment. Likewise, when Krishna said that I am fully satisfied, all the disciples of Durvasa and Durvasa himself suddenly felt, as they were bathing in the water, that they were completely filled to the brim. They were completely satisfied. They no longer had even the slightest hunger, and they, without even returning back to the ashram of the Pandavas, they just went back. So in this way, the Pandavas were again protected by Krishna. So Arjuna keeps narrating how it was only by his influence and by his mercy that Arjuna was able to even fight with Lord Shiva. Yette jasatha Bhagavan yudhi shulapanihi. Shiva is Trishulapanihi. Even he was Vismapitaha. Even he was astonished by the fighting prowess of Arjuna, and he awarded him the Pashupatastra. Anye pichaham amunaiva kalevarena prapto Mahendra bhavane mahad asanagdhan. Even all the other devatas delivered their respective weapons to me. And Arjuna also says that I was able to reach the Svargaloka, go to Mahendra Bhavana, to the palace of Indra, and share Mahad Asana Agdham, share half of the seat of the King of Heaven. So I could achieve all this only by the mercy of Krishna. In fact, in the heavenly planets, Tatraiva, in the Svargaloka, Tatraiva me viharato bhujadanda yugmam ghandiva lakshana marati vadhaya devaha sendrashritaya ranubhavita majamidha tena hamadyamushita purushena bhumna. When Arjuna was staying in the heavenly planets, all the devatas, including Indra, Ghandiva Lakshanam Sa Indraha Shrita, they took ashraya, they took shelter of the mighty arms of Arjuna. So this was all, the devatas, including Indra, took shelter of the strong arms of Arjuna in order to defeat the demon by name Nivata Kavacha. So Arjuna could perform such superhuman activities which surpassed even the great valorous acts of even the Devatas. Even the Devatas could not perform the acts performed by Arjuna. So Arjuna was so glorified in all the three worlds, and he says that Tena aham adya mushitaha Purushena Bhumna. Now at the present moment I am bereft of the association of the Supreme Lord, by whose influence I was so powerful. He further recalls how even in the great battle of Mahabharata, Yo Bhishma Karna Guru Shalya Chamushvadambra Rajanya Varya Rathamandala Manditasu Agrecharo Mama Vibho Rathayuthapanam Ayurmanam Sichadrisha Saha Oja Archat. Arjuna says that even in the great battle of Mahabharata at Kurukshetra, it was not at all by his valor or the strength of the Pandavas that they could win over the Kauravas. It is only because of the grace of the Supreme Lord that they could conquer and defeat the Kauravas. Arjuna then also says that Yaddoshuma pranihitam guru bhishma karana napri trigagta shalya saindhava bahlikadaihi astrani amogha mahimani nirupitani nopasprisha nriharidasamiva surani. All the great generals like Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Bhurishrava, Susharma, Shalya, Jayadratha, Bahlika directed their invincible and powerful weapons against me. But only by the grace of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, none of them or any of their powerful weapons could touch, they could not touch even a hair on my head. So such is the protection of the Supreme Lord, and Arjuna compares his situation to that of another very great devotee of the Supreme Lord who was always protected under all circumstances by the Supreme Lord, and that is the great devotee Prahlada Narahari Dasa. Here Prahlada is mentioned as Nrahari Dasa, the great servant of the Supreme Lord Narahari or Narasimha. So just like Prahlada was always protected under all circumstances by Lord Narasimha, likewise Arjuna says that I was always protected by the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Finally, Arjuna makes a very, very important and a golden statement that I have done such amazing, superhuman, extraordinary acts. All that was possible only and only by the grace of the Supreme Lord. I have practical experience of this today because Tadvai dhanustai shava saratho hayaste soham rathi nripatayo yata amananti sarvam kshanena tadabhudasari asari shariktham bhasman hutam kuhakaradhamivoptamushyam. Arjuna says that today I have been defeated by some insignificant cowherd men while I was returning from Dwaraka to Hastinapura. So this could happen only because Isha Riktham. Today I have the same Gandiva bow. I have the very same Gandiva bow, the same arrows, Tadvai Dhanushaha, Ishavaha, the same arrows, Saratho Hayaste. Arjuna had the inexhaustible quiver, the same arrows, the same chariot drawn by the same horses, and I am using all these weapons as the same Arjuna to whom all the kings of the world offered their due respects. Even the devatas of the heavenly planets submitted to my great valor and power. I could defeat all the kings of this world and even the devatas of the heavenly planets. But all the things are there, but one factor is not there. I have the same bow, Gandiva, I have the same quiver, I have the same arrows, I have the same chariot, I have the same horses. I am the same Arjuna. But just one thing is missing. And that one missing thing is actually the root cause, the only cause of all my achievements and not all these other things. So this is practically experienced by me today. Arjuna says that Sarvam, all these things, Tad Abhut Asat, everything has become null and void, Ishariktham, without the presence of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So Bhasman Hutam Kuhakaradham Ivoptamushyam, all these things have become like offering offering butter on ashes. If you offer on fire, the fire would blaze, but if you offer on ashes, it is just futile, worthless. It is like money which is accumulated with a magic wand. So just like a magician may produce some money, so many dollars or so many rupees, so many bunches of 2000 rupee notes, but if you take that money and keep in your pocket, after some time when you see, there is nothing. So therefore, we must always remember that the source of all the qualities that we may have, one should never become proud of them, because one should know that the source of all these qualities, of all our possessions, is actually the Supreme Proprietor, the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. So when Arjuna was returning from Dwaraka back to Hastinapura, he was confronted by many insignificant cowherd men, and they defeated Arjuna. So this time, because it was not the will of the Supreme Lord, the greatest warrior Arjuna was also defeated by some insignificant people. So in this way, Arjuna explained that you have asked me about our friends and relatives at Dwaraka. Now I inform you that all of them, by fighting between themselves, they have they have now gone back, they have returned to their final destination. In fact, Arjuna explains, Prayenaitad Bhagavata Ishvarasya Vicheshtitam Mitho Nignanti Bhutani Bhavayanti Chayanmithaha. Arjuna explains that actually Nataha Natyadharo Yatha. This was also explained by Queen Kunti earlier, that we should properly understand the activities of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna and of the eternal associates of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna. Like the eternal associates of the Supreme Lord, the residents of Dwaraka Nagari, the Dwaraka Nivasis. Normally, ordinary people hear that the Yadavas fought among themselves when they went to Prabhasa Kshetra. They became intoxicated and they took some, they were supposedly externally cursed by the sages, and due to the effect of that curse, they fought among themselves in an intoxicated, inebriated condition, and in this way they killed each other. But this is the greatest mistake, the greatest misunderstanding about the divine transcendental position of the Supreme Lord and his eternal associates, like the residents of Dwaraka Dhama. Actually, this is properly explained by the great pure devotees and acharyas, that all the acts of the Supreme Lord and his eternal associates are comparable to the acts performed on the stage by various players, by various actors. Nato natyadharo yatha. So, to give you a simple example, just like various personalities or actors may play their role, they may play their part, they may enter the stage in a certain way, they play their part. If there is a fight, they may fight with each other and collapse on the ground as if they are dead. Even when we see such a scene of fighting in a movie, in a cinema, we see two parties are fighting, they fight with each other and they collapse down dead, they shoot each other. So, but a wise and intelligent person very well knows that this is just a drama being enacted. This is not the real truth. So as soon as the curtain closes, the people, the actors who played as if dead would just get up and walk, because they are just playing a drama. It's not something really serious that they are really dead. If anyone thinks that the actors have really died, I mean, we should appreciate their intelligence, not intelligence, their great foolishness. Likewise, the Supreme Lord and His eternal associates, they come to the stage of this material world. Please understand this very, very carefully and attentively. For the Supreme Lord and His Nitya Parshadas, for the eternal associates of the Supreme Lord, this samsara, this material world is nothing more than a stage of a drama. The Supreme Lord has come, and to assist Him, to assist the Supreme Lord, the various eternal associates of the Supreme Lord also appear in the material world in various ways and means. Even just like there is nothing like birth and death for the Supreme Lord. I have given this example many times earlier. Just like the sun rises in the morning and sets in the west, if somebody thinks that the sun took birth in the morning and died in the evening, that is the greatest foolishness, that is the greatest madness. There is no merit in such an understanding. Therefore, the Supreme Lord, the creator of the sun and the entire multitude of universes, is never ever subjected to the conditions of birth or death. Neither are the eternal associates of the Supreme Lord like the residents of Dwaraka, the residents of Vrindavana, the Pancha Pandavas, Kunti, Draupadi. Even they are never subject to the conditions of birth and death. They appear, even they apparently take birth. It is just like the appearance of an actor on the stage. And likewise, their so-called death is just like the drama enacted on the stage. So, to give you another example, just like if a shooting of a cinema, of a movie is taking place in a very big city, say like a Bollywood movie is being shot in a busy area of a busy city like Mumbai. So in Mumbai city, just imagine, just picturize this, that a movie shooting of a cinema is going on, and there are say about 10 actors, the hero, the heroine, and some 8 actors assisting, also playing their respective roles in this movie. They are supposed to catch a local train and travel from one station to say about 5 stations later they have to get down. So now the action starts and 10 people, two main actors, the hero and the heroine, and 8 other actors. They move to the railway station. They go through the congested and busy platforms filled with crowds of tens of thousands of people. They also board the train. They travel for 5 stations. They get down. Now, these 10 actors are only playing their part. They have absolutely no interest in going to the platform in those crowds, boarding the train, traveling 5 stations, doing so many activities, playing some role, maybe having some chit chat between the hero and heroine, or the other 8 people trying to attack these 2 people, and then they getting down after 5 stations. For them, actually, it is nothing more than the enactment of a drama. But along in the same scene, there are another 10,000 people who are boarding the train, who are traveling 5 stations, who are getting down. For the other 10,000 people, it is no drama. It is real life. Just like they say, real, R-E-A-L, real life, and then there is real life, R-E-E-L, life. So, there is a lot of difference. For the person who wants to go to the office, he is in great anxiety and tension to catch the 9:47 train and somehow rush into the train and with great difficulty hold on to something, get down at the 5th station, come out and go to his office in great tension, anxiety, with high BP. So, there is a lot of difference between a real life person and a real life person, and that is the difference between the activities of the nitya baddhas, of the jivatmas in this samsara, who are under material bondage, under bandhana, and the activities performed by the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Hero, the Supreme Heroine, like Radha, Rukmini, and the Queens of Krishna, and the eternal associates of the Supreme Lord, all the residents of Dwaraka, all the residents of Vrindavana. They have also come directly from the eternal spiritual world, and they are just playing their different roles and parts. They are also actors. They are also in real life. It is not real life for them. So they are just playing their parts. They are entering in a certain way, and they are making their exit from the stage of the material world in various ways. Therefore, one should never mistaken or think that the residents of Dwaraka became intoxicated. Recently, just a few weeks back, there was a great controversy when very, very famous and popular Kathavachaka of the Ramayana spoke that the residents of Dwaraka were drunkards and would be always in inebriated condition. That person has zero knowledge, zero understanding of the truth about the Supreme Lord and about the position of the transcendental, eternal associates of the Supreme Lord, the residents of Dwaraka. To speak in such a mundane way about the transcendental acts of the eternal associates of the Supreme Lord is actually a great offense, is highly offensive. So basically what I mean to say here, what I wish to impress here repeatedly is that the appearance and disappearance of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna and even all the residents of Dwaraka is just like the enactment of a drama. They are never subjected to the real material conditions of birth and death. No, never. The residents of Dwaraka, they are just playing one drama. They are fighting among themselves in the Mushala Leela, seemingly, apparently, externally being cursed by the sages, apparently only, externally only being intoxicated. It is only and only a drama. The real fact is that they are just doing a drama. They have come with the Supreme Lord from the spiritual world, and by various means and ways, they are going back to the spiritual world. Krishna was now going back to the spiritual world, to the eternal kingdom of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna, and he wanted to take all of them back. He can even directly place them on divine airplanes and directly take them back to the spiritual world, but this would be very, very bewildering. The common people would become crazy. They would not have any proper understanding because they are absorbed in material things. So Krishna performed this drama. He wanted to take all the residents of Dwaraka, his eternal associates, back to the spiritual world, and he enacted the drama of Mushala Leela. This is the right understanding about the disappearance of the Supreme Lord and his eternal associates. Now, after knowing the destination of the Supreme Lord and the eternal associates of Dwaraka, what action was taken by the Pandavas, by Yudhishthira, Arjuna, Kunti, Draupadi, Vidura, we shall know in the later part of the 15th chapter, which we shall continue for tomorrow. Please do join us tomorrow for the continuation of the narration of the Srimad Bhagavatam. You are most welcome to post your questions on the WhatsApp group or in the comments box. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, and please do join us tomorrow for the continuation of the narration of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.